A very good afternoon to you tuned into UBC TV. We thank you so much for watching and welcome to UBC Lunchtime News. It's me, Michael Jordan Lukomwa, and we'll go right away to what we have for you this afternoon. Chigezi sub-region is set to receive an electricity substation by the end of November this year, 2024. State Minister for Energy, Okasai Sindronius Opolot, announced that the proposed power substation will enhance electricity supply in the region. This announcement was made during a meeting with political and technical leaders at the office of the Resident District Commissioner in Kisoro.
The Chigezi sub-region will receive an 80-megawatt substation to serve the area. Minister of State for Energy, Okasai Sindronius Opolot, explained that this substation is a response to requests from local leaders and aligns with the government's objective of promoting industrialization. He added that the ministry has decided to establish most substations in the southwestern region, with one at Mirama Hills in Tungamo and another in Moko sub-county in Rwanda to serve the Chigezi region.
Saying to generate 15,000 will come from hydro, another 15 will come from solar. I said geothermal, I will produce 10. I will produce this from that source. And we're actually venturing as a country to go to nuclear.
The minister urged local leaders to identify all areas in need of electricity. He also mentioned that the government has revised its electricity distribution policy.
Its policy is actually on the way. We think the ministry must have a representation in the districts. In some districts, although we have an office of the service provider, we would wish to have the initial entry point, because electricity is about engineering. You have an engineering department in the district. Care about turning off the taps, the water heater is on, even when it doesn't need water. The price goes up. So we are providing a cooking tariff.
Mr. Kasai emphasized that the government aims to provide electricity to every household. He noted that while in Uganda each kilometer of electricity distribution costs 100 million shillings, the cost in the Chigezi region will be higher due to the challenging terrain.
Taking a system, a grid electricity, to a small population is high. You see, we have calculated in plain land, like in Teso, a kilometer of electricity, grid electricity, will take government 100 million a kilometer.
Kisoro District LC5 Chairperson Abel Bizimana thanked the government for considering their needs, stating that the substation will contribute to the region's development.
Going on in extension of power, but we fear that the speed at which we are extending and the opportunities that are available for extension are few. You know, when there was still rural electrification area, it seems there was a lot of money. But here you go to your offices, then they tell you, we are waiting for this and that, we are thinking about this. Then you feel the certainty of extension is so low.
The MP for Bufumbira South, Engineer Alex Niyonsaba Seruganda, highlighted that the people of Bufumbira South have been suffering due to a lack of electricity. Currently, Kisoro sources its electricity from Taruka in Rwanda, which has prompted the Ugandan government to work on reversing the importation strategy in favor of promoting electricity exports.
Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, has encouraged the youth in Kanungu to acquire technical and vocational skills to secure a brighter future and fight unemployment. Baryomunsi was on a working visit to Windi Community Vocational College in Kanungu, where he participated in the fundraising event that aims at constructing an ICT laboratory for the college.
Premises
The Minister for Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomonsi, has urged the youth to pursue vocational skills as a means to address unemployment.
Okaza omuriye mikono kwege by'emikono azabwire kale abantu bakaba bashitwara kubi ngo bari kuzomuriye mikono n'abari kwabasinjigwe batahikire konka real life magara gate bwa burejo no shanga ngo abari kwega eby'emikono bwiro bwingi nibo bari kutunga emirimo bakebisyaho bakabaje.
Baryomonsi, who is also the NRM Vice Chairperson, Western Uganda, was on a working visit to Windy Community Vocational College in Kabong District, where he participated in a fundraising event aimed at constructing an ICT laboratory. The Member of Parliament, Kinkizi West County in Kabong District, during the visit, James Kaberuka, appealed for support to private institutions that are providing vocational training to the youth as they play a crucial role in combating unemployment.
The government should support the private sector which is involved in skilling the youth, because when we want government only to have government institutions, government has no requisite resources to have every institution in every area.
The Mayor of Buhoma Town Council, Bashaija Moses, where the institution is located, praised the director for establishing the college. He noted that prior to this, the area lacked a vocational institution, and the college has significantly contributed to improving services, particularly in agricultural production, which requires specialized knowledge and techniques.
Skill-based. So by skilling Ugandans, it is very important to give them opportunities, not only for looking for employment, but for creating their own jobs. For example, people who are training in tailoring, people are training in agriculture, they improve on their agriculture practices and produce for the market.
The director of the college, Agaba Adam, reflected on the progress made since the institution's humble beginnings, expressing optimism for the future. Students also expressed their gratitude for the opportunity to acquire valuable technical skills.
From scratch, because we started from renting in town, one room where we are training on a computer, but later we bought land, and as I talk now, we have about 2 acres of land.
Skills, being confident and believing in myself. As one of the students who offer tourism and hospitality management, I'm able to handle clients if I'm in the field. And
the Secretary General of the National of the Forum for Democratic Change, Najana Nkumbi Nandala Mafabi, says that no one has the powers to dissolve the FDC. While speaking during a rally at Nandida grounds in Jinja, Mafabi disagreed with the resolution made by the Katonga faction during their delegates' conference.
See, government is going to improve on air conditions. We are going to define a minimum wage for workers across the country. When you cut sugar cane in Kakira, you know that you can live a fairly good life. You know that Busoga has been condemned to poverty. I think that you should grow only sugar cane.
Local Workers from Kabong District want government to compensate their stolen livestock during the days when the area was ravaged with insecurity. According to KRAL leaders, 113,000 animals, including cattle, sheep, goats and others, were lost, and they say there is need to restore the livestock since peace is now restored in the area.
One must have been taken by the Takana and the G. Now, as you see us, most women are widows, we have orphans, nobody to take care of. Our source of life was an animal. Everything was from animal. Our children have come back from school because we don't have cows. And we have been using cows to sell to pay our children's school fees.
Ghana and armed Geo warriors combined force. And this was submitted for compensation on the 2nd of November 2016. And these are the animals which were raided during the first disarmament exercise. So cows 50,265, goats 17,119, sheep 10,625, donkeys 351.
Also to remind the president, when we were in Kawaweta on the 18th May 2023, we were in Kabarelege, that is Otuke district. His Excellency, the President of Uganda, promised me a tractor. And up to today, I have not got the tractor. When we were in the training in Kawaweta, he repeatedly said he is going to give me the tractor, but I've waited for my plate from the President. Who could be sitting on my plate? My plate should belong to me, to help other people. It will not only me who will benefit out of it, it will be the whole community at large.
The voting, that we shall meet again during voting again, that we don't meet with His Excellency before elections. That's a very big question for us that we are trying to ask the President. After when the recent elections will come to us, but we raise our fingers. Now in the poverty, really how these fingers work? Let him help us so that we raise the fingers and the fingers remain firm. Because cattle rustling has frustrated many people. Of recent, a woman was relying in her own garden, died and left a child of 2 months in Kakamar, 2 weeks in Kakamar sub-county.
And about 7 or 8 sub-counties are affected. People are being killed, and crops are being destroyed, people are being injured, and so we have a list of all the claims for compensation for the human-wildlife conflict, and we have also submitted that list to the committee, so that the committee can recommend that government comes quickly and compensate the people for the destruction and death and injury caused by wildlife.
First of all, there are so many claimants. Like we have listened from Kabong alone, they are claiming almost 100,000 heads of cattle. But the problem in this region, the verification exercise has not started. The Minister of Constitutional Affairs and Justice and Constitutional Affairs, they sent forms to this region for people to fill the forms for a verification exercise to start. The officers here, they just sent the forms to the sub-counties. They have even, that was in 2020 December. Up to now, they have never collected those forms. So the exercise of verification has never started. And government cannot compensate, they cannot pay any claim which is not yet verified. So there is a problem here, and we are worried by the officers here, especially those who are touching.
Police in North Kyoga has called upon parents to engage their children this holiday to prevent them from engaging in unnecessary activities that may lead them into crime. The police have also encouraged members of the public to follow up cases reported to support investigations and prosecution of culprits. This was in the force's Monday briefing as gathered by our reporter A.D. Olua.
Newborn deaths, that's between 0 to 7 days. We usually call that as a perinatal period, the first 7 days of life. For 22-23 compared with 23-24, we see a little bit of decline in some of the districts, while others are still on the increase. So it means 2023 had higher deaths as opposed to the current one, because of a lot of innovations really. But we are still registering maternal deaths. According to Sustainable Development Goal standards, by 2030, all countries must ensure that the maternal mortality ratio must not exceed 70 per 100,000 live births. Globally now we are having maternal mortality ratio of 211. And in Uganda, a lot has been done that we have dropped from 336 mothers dying per 100,000 live births to the current 189. That means it is incumbent upon all of us here that this figure of 70 or below, we must all contribute to it to help Uganda achieve that goal by 2030. In 2022-23, Arua City had 24 maternal deaths, but in 2023-24, currently we are at 22, which is very close. We have not finished 2024. The same way I presented the stillbirths, where are these deaths coming from? And the answer will be very simple. 97% of them are referrals. So they are simply sent to die. I will use that word.
This was a 2-year project which is funded by German Federal Foreign Office, and we targeted around 85,000 participants, both refugees and host community. Previously, before the project started, there were high number of home deliveries, but when we strengthened the community structures, that is the community-based facilitators, they were able to sensitize, map the pregnant women and lactating women and refer them. So this ensured that there was some reduction in terms of home delivery. There's also improvement in terms of women who are pregnant accessing antenatal visit.
Managing maternal and child health well is an enhancement to the economic and social development. I want to tell you, one child born alive is a stimuli to the economy.
We thank you so much for watching. That was our story concerning stillbirths and maternal deaths of children, where West Nile health workers are calling on stakeholders to double the efforts in fighting the two problems. We'll have details to that story in our subsequent bulletins. We'll now take you to the story in North Kyoga, where police is warning parents to take care of their children during this holiday to avoid and prevent them from engaging in crime.
Who are just relatives in courts. We have seen scenarios where of defilement, which are happening is out of sometimes our relatives. So it is something that we really need. You know, the world is changing. We are trying to move from our traditional lifestyle to a modern lifestyle now. Okay, by you allowing your child to move anyhow, I'm telling you, this experience as police, we are realizing some of these cases are coming up from the angle of child defilement or even rape cases. So many times people look at the girl child only. Even the boy child today, there are elderly women who are defiling the boys. People are keeping quiet, but these are things that are happening. In Lira here, we have registered cases. We had one in the Red here. We have situations where people report cases and stay put. After coming to police, they don't follow up these cases. Yet, it is already registered. We have situations where, after reporting, people fail to support police with evidence or even make statements. Interference at the crime scene. We have seen this when a case of murder has been registered. When we introduce our canine on the ground, sometimes it fails and loses track, simply because the environment in which the incident happened has already been interfered with. So we are here encouraging members of the public that if an incident happened, for purposes of coming up with new methods of identifying suspects, like we have been using our canine or the dog, let us avoid interfering or moving at the crime scene. At the end of the day, the dog can again track you, who could have moved just to witness and see what happened. So this is our appeal.
Uganda is preparing to host the Nile Basin Heads of State Summit in October this year. The Executive Director, Nile Basin Initiative, Dr. Florence Grace Adong, confirmed the development and expressed optimism that the long-awaited Nile Basin Commission will come into force after the signing of the Nile Basin Framework Agreement by 6 member state heads.
In October 2024, Uganda will host the Nile Basin Heads of State Summit, and there is optimism that the long-awaited Nile Basin Commission will be endorsed since 6 out of 10 member countries have signed the Cooperative Framework Agreement.
By the time of the Council of Ministers meeting, 5 countries had signed and ratified. These are Burundi, Ethiopia, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda. And during that meeting, Council of Ministers encouraged other member countries who had not yet ratified or acceded to do so. And as of this time, South Sudan has acceded to the Cooperative Framework Agreement. They have made the communication, making it the 6th country to accede. I use the word accession because South Sudan was not born by the time the Cooperative Framework Agreement was signed. They joined the Nile Basin Initiative in 2012. And therefore the Cooperative Framework Agreement provides for countries to accede, and that is what they have done. So we now have 6 countries, and therefore the Commission, according to the Cooperative Framework Agreement, should come into force 60 days after the 6th country has deposited its instrument at the AU. So we are looking forward to this exciting moment that will come in October, and it coincides very well with the subject matter at hand and the hosting of the Nile Basin Heads of State Summit.
It is hoped that Nile Basin Commission will play a critical role in the social and economic transformation of the Nile Basin countries.
Countries that are underdeveloped are found within the Nile Basin. And also, from our assessment, there is underdevelopment of this potential resource that can transform the basin. So it would be very important that we see the launch of transformative investments that can change the lives and the economies of the Nile Basin countries through the Nile River Basin water resources.
This is a very important legal instrument that will help us in resource mobilization and fostering the joint development across countries for the benefit of all the riparian countries in the Nile Basin. In the absence of the cooperative framework, it becomes very hard to pursue certain development agenda within the basin.
Since 1999, when the Nile Basin Initiative was established, a number of joint transformative projects have been realized benefiting the people in the basin. Mario Nawori and Adia Nakuti for UBC.
We thank you so much for watching. Let's take a short break. Keep it with us.
MTN ekutusako papapatatuwa musonga kaganga asatu buli mwezi guno gwa munana jangu kudamzuwota kulaga backgrounds tunyumirwe ng'okuyingira jijja kuba emitwalo 2 naye tiketi wogigulira ku MTN Momo ogifuna ku mutwalo gumu ye ya VIP ya mitwalo 3 kati nno nyiga *165*2 noti hash oba kozesa Momo app weegulire tiketi yo ku MTN Momo ku bbeeyi rayisi tosubwa abayimbi bonna ab'e Kampala n'ab'e Busoga papapate eneetegekeddwa Douglas Rwanga nekutusibwako MTN.
Together we're unstoppable.
Uganda,
Are you ready to kick things up to the next level? The Uganda National Lottery brings you Sports Take 10.
Predict the results of 10 football games and win big. With tickets at only 500 shillings, join the fun and make your predictions count with Sports Take 10. Sports Take 10, your ticket to football glory.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Uganda fire! Endiva fire! Our fire! Uganda! Thank you for showing your fire! Has Nambole Stadium opened its doors once again? While you were moving in, you were the 12th player when Uganda Cranes needed you the most. Through our famous wins against Kabong and our unlucky losses, you stood firm, supporting even louder. Now, as Uganda Cranes take on South Africa and Congo this September, South Sudan in October, and play our second legs against South Africa and Congo in November, bring even more fire! Because with your support, Uganda Cranes is unstoppable! Uganda fire! Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda Cranes. Together, we are unstoppable.
UBC Lunchtime News, thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. Women in Machinde have been encouraged to embrace the German Women Initiative for Empowerment and Fight Against Poverty. The message was delivered by Presidential Advisor on Kampala City Affairs, Sarah Kanyike, while representing First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, at the program's launch. The First Lady donated 100 million Uganda shillings to support the whole program.
Sarah Kanyike Foundation, where we want to start the ladies to save, then we give them money, and then they move on with working. Gramen has been able to buy land for the ladies with titles, land titles. We have some land in Kachiri, in Katende. This is what I want to see in Machinde. So today we are here to launch this merger of Sarah Kanyike Foundation with Gramen and see how best we are going to do it in Machinde.
So we are officially opening all operations of Gramen in Makinde division. And we are here because we want to empower women of Makinde and women of Uganda as a whole.
Naja ku stay home. Nganzikulebeddemu mama wange ono. Nanyingiza mu ofisi yo wampe emitwalo 10 nga bangobye mu nnyumba. Era siryerabira lunaku olwo. Nsiima nnyo nsiimira ddala. Ne bamusindika mu Kairozi. Nasoma kuva mu senior 1 mpaka senior 4. Kati mu senior 4 ne akalubirizibwamu ne muza mukundi mutreke naye agambye akyali wamu namu.
And I'm urging the women in Machinde division to come and join this initiative because they are going to benefit from it as ladies in Rubaga have benefited. The different programs we have in Gramin, I've told you about the lending issue, I've told you about the land, I've told you about the border project. We have a border project, we have an asset project. You may be needing something as an asset, then we give you money or we buy it for you.
The Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, that's COMESA, in conjunction with the Civil Aviation Authority and Ministry of Transport, have organized the Regional Technical Capacity Building Workshop on Annex 6 Consumer Protection Regulations. According to Fred Bamwesige, the Director General, Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, the training aims at harmonizing interests of air transport industry to the consumers.
This workshop has come at the right time when the EAC Secretariat is in the process of submitting the harmonized regional consumer protection regulations to the Sectoral Council on Transport, Communication and Meteorology this year. consumer protection measures are often established by law, and such laws are intended to prevent provider of air transport service from engaging in a fraud or specified unfair practices to gain an advantage over the consumer of the service. Therefore, government authorities should develop consumer protection legal framework which strike an appropriate balance between protection of consumers and the industry competitiveness.
We have witnessed new entrants in the form of low-cost carriers in the air transport industry, despite the slow pace of liberalization. This has ushered in competition in the air transport industry, hence the need to ensure our regulations protect air transport passengers from false advertising, tarmac delays, baggage pilfering, and baggage loss. And there is a need to give them access to information.
Uganda and the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives is in the process of developing competition regulations following the promulgation of the Competition Act in February 2024. The Consumer Protection Bill is pending presentation to Parliament of Uganda following the completion of the review with respect to government policy on rationalization of state entities. As the process of domestication of Montreal Convention and other related laws, such as Annex 6 of the YD, are underway, Uganda Civil Aviation Authority has established a consumer protection unit that is currently working in collaboration with the public affairs and airport management using procedure manuals and guidance materials to address matters regarding consumer protection.
UBC Lunchtime News, Sports News. KU Titans secured their place in the National Basketball League finals after edging out Nam Blazers 81-78 in a decisive game that went into overtime at Lugogo. The win allowed the Titans to advance with the 3-2 series victory, setting up a rematch against the reigning champion City Oilers, who have won it for the last 9 seasons. The game, which was closely contested from start to finish, saw a deadlock of 73-73 by the end of the fourth quarter after the Titans' guard Tembo Kasereka remained calm under pressure, sinking 2 crucial free throws to tie the game and force it into overtime. In the extra period, KU capitalized on costly mistakes by the Blazers, taking control and ultimately sealing their hard-fought victory. The victory marks KU Titans' third appearance in the NBL Finals as they continue their quest for a maiden league title. The finals series, which will be played in the best-of-7 format, is set to begin on Wednesday this very week. That is all we had for you this afternoon. Thanking you so much for watching as we start the week. Of course, Newsroom is at work. We'll give you more news in Uganda, Kiswahili, and I'll be here myself for news tonight, so you have all the reasons to keep it with us. Bye-bye. Enjoy the week.